So how can we sustain in forgiveness? I have a book called The Forgiving Life. And this is a dialogue between two women, one who is very wise in forgiveness and one who is struggling to forgive. And I talk about three kinds of wills: the free will, the good will, and the strong will. The free will allows us to say yes to forgiveness or to reject it. The good will allows us to give good things to the other who wasn't giving good things to us. And the strong will, which is rarely discussed in philosophy when there's discussions of the will, the free, good, and strong will, the strong will is what helps us to persist, which helps us to make the application of forgiveness in our lives a habit, a habitus, as Aristotle would describe it. And it's not necessarily a bad habit like chewing one's fingernails. It is a good habit like going to the gym every day for exercise, where we begin to forgive others for the little things in our life, with those who might hurt us a little bit in the family, or we might be in a long line in the grocery store and we're annoyed. And that kind of habit can help us continue even to revisit the atrocious issues against us that might have happened years ago, where we can go back to those occasionally. Because remember, Aristotle told us we are not perfect forgivers. And sometimes after we have forgiven, the anger can well up in us again 6 months later or a year later. Our strong will allows us to go back to the phases of forgiveness in the process model of forgiveness and continue that process, usually more quickly, usually without having to wait months here and not having to struggle so much with, for example, seeing the inherent worth in the other, and the cleansing of our psychological being, our wellness, the enhancement of our wellness can get even stronger. So we have to remember the free will, the good will, and the strong will, and especially not neglect the strong will, because it's that which will help us persevere to the finish line, so to speak, of being great forgivers. And so what? Why? Why do we want to do that? Because it seems to me that at the end of the day, we are at a crossroads in life where we can leave a legacy of our own bitterness to our family or a legacy of love to our family. If we can persist in forgiving, where we can develop more kind hearts, generous hearts, and even loving hearts, and we can pass this to our children, the children may in fact pass that to their own children, who may pass it to their own children, and the love you leave in this world, the legacy of your love, could be alive and well 100 years from now, when you're long gone. You will have left something of great importance in this world when you persist in your forgiving and give that to your own offspring, your own partner, your own family, your own loved ones. Because you see, love literally never dies. Love continues. Think for a moment of something that your mother did for you when you were 5 years old, when you were hurt and maybe she hugged you and rocked you. That's still with you now when I bring that up. That love is alive. And the kind of love that you have now can indeed be given to your children, so it's alive in them. And so your love will never die. And that's something to keep in mind when you are even at the crossroads of forgiving or not. Should I continue to shake my fist at those who've treated me unjustly? Should I continue to shake my fist at the world? Will the world be better off, and will you be better off with the clenched fist? Maybe you can open that fist with a hand that says, come up out of the pit of destruction. Come out of that pit and join me equally as human beings, where we can actually mend together that which was broken, so we can live together in harmony. And I know of nothing in this world that can help us to mend that which is broken in relationships than forgiveness. Tragically, forgiveness is not on the table in most societies, and it should be. I think we should have forgiveness education. I think it should be part of human relations training. It should be part of positive emotional development. It should be part of social education, where children can learn through stories how story characters forgive and practice it a little bit in their own classrooms when someone might steal their pencil or push them down. And it's these little things upon which they can build so that when the big injustices of life hit these children, and I wish that weren't the case, they would be then ready for this because they would have been trained in the moral virtue of forgiveness through stories when they were in childhood and school, so that they build their forgiveness muscle. And in building the forgiveness muscle, they become what I call forgivingly fit. And then they can deal with the injustices in their family and not be so quick to divorce or to separate or to continue a conflict, where they can stop and say, wait a minute, we might be accelerating through the injustice in effect that is poisonous to us and our children. It is time not to do that, but to bring forward with a free will, a good will, and a strong will, the process of forgiveness within our family so that we are all the better for it.